Hey. Good, good. So we're going to jump over here for just a little bit longer, and then we'll come over and do an interview. So,
I'm going to get some water.
did I give you my card already?
No, you didn't.
Okay, let me make sure I get you on. Hold on a second. Pre-stream is live. I'm getting the live feed going back up, so because we're broadcasting.
And they can easily come take my car just the same. I don't agree with it. I think people should have the right to own their property the way it's owned without having to
Yes, I do.
go through all that
Okay.
registration. I agree with the
Call
license.
me if we haven't grabbed you before we're out of here. So that's got my cell phone on it.
That's something we can all agree on.
All right. Hey guys, how you doing?
But it's happening in all the other countries where they say, hey, we're not going to take your guns. We're just going to put you on a
We've
registry.
talked
so
to
we
these
know
guys,
who
had to
the
run over and
people
grab
are.
some
And then they
batteries
came
for
and
the
took my
camera
gun.
equipment. We were on this side over with press. So we're coming back over. Just wanted to make sure. Okay, thanks, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, guys, we're heading back over there.
Are you talking about the Uranium One deal, sir? Are you talking about
All right. We're coming back over, so you know. Thanks. Thank you. Appreciate it, sir. All right, guys, we are back. We are at the march on the NRA. We're on the march for our live side. So they have speakers going on over here. We have the Pro 2A side on this side. They're going back and forth, having some discussion. And they're having their events held over here. So we will wander and kind of show you what's going on. Looks like Brian's in a discussion over here. Hey, how you doing? Right to bear arms shall not be infringed. You want to tell me what you're doing here? We're with Huge Tube, Utah Gun Exchange, and then Liberty One Media, or Liberty One TV. If you want to tell me what.
Yeah. Let me just get my video here.
Okay, go right ahead. So we're live, so you know.
Sweet. All right, I'm recording too.
Okay, go ahead.
So what were you asking me, bro?
So give me what are your stats here? What are you doing here? What are you here in support of? What's your wants, I guess, and what are you looking for, hoping to achieve, I guess?
So let's come over here.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
I'm
sorry,
here
man.
in support of the Second Amendment.
Okay.
I'm here in support of the NRA, and I'm here to have a conversation with people who don't agree with me. And I'm trying to become, symbolizing with the Barney suit that the Second Amendment is not something that's to be scary or be afraid of, but something to be embraced and loved by all.
Gotcha. That's awesome. Yeah, that's for sure. You know, it's I appreciate what you have to say.
Yeah. Thanks.
Is there one thing you would hope? So both sides should. What would you want to tell both sides if you could tell them? I hope to see come out of today working together with both sides. Because obviously we have the Pro 2A stance over here. We're in the March for Our Lives against the NRA on this side. What would you?
My overall message
yeah,
my overall message is that, like, one, gun violence is a symptom of a deeper problem that we have in the country. The access to a gun is not the problem, okay? People who harbor whatever sentiments in their heart to do violence, there's deeper issues there that need to be addressed. Second, I would love more government accountability. Here they are. They're attacking the NRA and gun owners, but they fail to hold accountable the Broward Sheriff County who failed to do his job at the school when Nicholas Cruz shot it up, or failed to hold the FBI accountable. You know what I'm saying? When they knew about Cruz, they should have been watching that dude. You know what I'm saying? So why not go after the FBI and the sheriff who didn't do their job instead of attacking the Second Amendment and trying to ban guns? So let's start there.
Let's enforce the laws that we already have in place. Right?
Absolutely. We have a lot of fully automatic guns are generally illegal in this country.
Utah Gun Exchange. Y'all want some ice cream?
You know what I'm saying? So
want some ice cream?
we have a lot of laws already that need to just be enforced. Okay, so I would say government accountability and point the finger at who really is at fault. FBI and Broward Sheriff County.
Yeah, and the person that actually did the act.
And the person who committed the act themselves. Exactly.
That's one thing, going to these events, it's everybody else's fault, but what about the person that did it?
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. I 100% agree. You are only responsible for your own actions. And that's the point of all of it.
That's right. I completely agree. We need to find out what's causing the root of these things and work on that.
The Second Amendment more palatable.
So yeah, I completely agree. Thank you. I appreciate what you had to say.
Yeah,
So
man.
we're
God bless you.
broadcasting.
Thanks for talking.
Yeah,
We're
we're broadcasting on Utah Gun Exchange, YouTube, Liberty One TV, and then Proud American, I believe.
cool. You can find me on YouTube, Matt's Rants.
Max Rats.
Matt's
Okay.
Rants, M-A-T-T-S Rants.
Okay, awesome.
Matt's Rants.
Okay, if you guys want to hear more of what he has to say, go check him out. Also, you need to hop on YouTube. We don't censor there. It's very similar layout to YouTube, except for it's welcoming free speech.
Got it. Thanks, bro.
Yeah,
God bless
thank
you,
you.
man.
Take care. Good luck. All right, guys, we're going to jump in on Brian. So we're at Utah Gun Exchange. If you guys are just joining us, we are live at the event. Go ahead and hit the share button. We're going to be live at the rest of the event, just showing kind of what's going on. It's March on the NRA. We have some Pro 2A guys in the crowd here. We have Pro 2A side over there by the American flag. We're here having some discussion, but yes, we were here live. Hey, sorry, I got slammed over here and then ended up going back. But anyways, do you care if I'm live right now? Do you care if we have a conversation?
Sure,
online?
go ahead.
Okay, you're all right with that. So, this gentleman. So, tell me your name and your reasoning of being here. You don't have to go with last name.
All right, sure. My name is Will, and I'm actually 18 years old. I just finished. I just graduated from South Lakes High School in Reston, Virginia.
Awesome, congratulations.
And I'm actually headed to George Mason University, which is not far from here.
Okay.
Actually, and the reason I'm here is because I feel like that there is just not enough talking in Congress. There's not enough action in Congress. There's not enough planning in Congress from all the corrupt politicians that just do nothing. There are so many politicians that are bought by the NRA. Like, I'm not going to name any names here, but I just feel like that I need to have my voice be heard. And however, doing nothing for me, really, for me, doing nothing isn't exactly. It just doesn't fit well with me. If I didn't come here today, I do not live far from here. Actually, I live about I don't know, really not far from here. And once I heard that something was going on here today, it would be morally wrong if I did not show up here today. It's only like a 20 or 15 minute drive away from
Okay. Yeah, it's something you got to come out here and express your freedom of speech, and so yeah. Yeah, no, I let him know. He's talking to our followers, so yeah, we're having just these conversations.
Killers.
I am absolutely not, ma'am.
Okay, let's calm down for a second.
So
Let's calm down for a second.
So
okay?
that's the problem that we find is we've got to. I completely agree with you. You can't just come and attack. You got to have these conversations because remind me, Will, is that right?
Yeah, I'm
Will.
next to
Okay,
Will,
so this is Will here, and we're able to have a conversation. We do have a little bit different points of views, but that's why we're talking to have these conversations of work. How can we come together? And so yeah, your thing is NRA with the money into the politics, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So
that's my most important issue is getting money out of
gotcha.
politics.
So would you, if you're for this, would you go on the offense of attacking money on the politics that are on the other side besides NRA? So
exactly.
Other organizations?
Absolutely. I don't want politicians that represent the money. I want them to represent the people. That's
I agree. Yeah, and I think both sides can agree. So one thing that I think would I'll try to speak as best as I can from this audience, but I think one thing they would like to say is, well, if you want us to get on board with that, let's attack everybody that's donating to politicians, and let's just get rid of the money out of the.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly. That's.
Yeah, I think that's something that we could all get on board with, and I'm glad you can agree with that too. And so that's having these conversations. That's one thing we can find that we can agree on. And then I think nobody here, whether how extreme they are on the right or on the left, they don't want to see anybody else dying. They don't want any more.
And me personally, I do not affiliate myself with any political party. I call myself. I just say that I'm in the common sense party. I just follow whatever I consider common sense. That's it. Really.
Okay.
I don't identify myself with anything. If we just label people, it just furthers that divide.
I agree. Yeah, it splits it because you look at these things, and unfortunately, there is the people will come up and they're just used to the divide instead of coming over, because she could have a conversation with us all day long, and I'd talk to her and listen to what she has to say, and I'd hope she would listen to hear what I would have to say. But so what's your stance on? What's your stance on the First and Second Amendment? What are your stances that way?
I think they're incredibly important. I think the First Amendment was made so that we didn't live in a basically dictatorship, and so we couldn't be prosecuted if we just said anything. The First Amendment is the reason why I can shout to those guys on the other side, and I'm grateful for it. I really am. And and since I'm a Christian, since I'm a Presbyterian Christian, that means that means I don't have to worry about being prosecuted for that, because there are so many countries around the world where Christians are prosecuted, and that's just not good.
Yeah, it
So
is.
the First Amendment is really, really important to me.
Okay, what about the Second Amendment? What's your
The second
thoughts?
is really important too.
Okay.
And I interpret it just as it reads, which means a well-regulated militia being necessary to keep a free state. I'm sorry if I got that text wrong. I'm just remembering it off the top of my head. The right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Now, it's the well-regulated militia part that really, I do not think that those guys on the other side are understanding, because it's like owning a car. You go through background checks. You do training. I got my license last year. It took me a long time. It took me about 2 years to get my license, actually, to get my driver's license. Actually, I'm not gonna show it.
Oh no, you're fine. Yeah, because you
Anyway,
never know.
but it took me a very long time to do that, and I just feel like that should be the case with guns too. You should make sure that a person is ready mentally and both mentally and what's the word I'm looking for here?
Like stable or something. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I get where you're going with it.
Yeah, you get what I mean. Just
Yeah, they're going to be responsible.
I want people to make.
Okay.
The founding fathers wanted it to make. They made the Second Amendment, and they wanted people to own guns if they were responsible. They didn't just want any jerk out there who had mental issues going around and running around with guns like that. And you know, and once again, I really do support the Second Amendment. All right. As a matter of fact, after I get out of college and move into my own home, I may purchase a shotgun for shooting at the range, because it's just that fun. I've shot hunting rifles before in the woods. It's awesome. But to give everybody here a little bit of a backstory, I actually used to be on the position. I've always been for more gun regulation. All right?
Okay.
But I used to be. For my position, I used to be against banning assault weapons. I used to be that way, but then I kept on claiming that I kept on claiming that it wouldn't stop any criminals. Like, look at what's happening with the war on drugs, blah blah blah. But then I saw a post on Facebook with this guy. I forgot his name. Maybe it was Steven or something. I don't know. It was a video where that guy on Facebook he took his assault rifle and sawed it in half with a power saw. And in that video, what he said really got my attention. He said, now a lot of people are arguing, if we just have tighter gun laws, then it won't stop, bad guys from getting them. Why punish legal gun owners?
Gotcha.
And then he continued on to say this. Well, until recently, Nicholas Cruz was a legal gun owner. Stephen Paddock was a legal gun owner too before the Las Vegas shooting. You never know who's gonna be who. Recently there was another shooting at the YouTube headquarters in, I believe it was San Bernardino, California?
I think it's somewhere in there. It's in the technology belt
I could
down
be wrong,
there.
but it is in California. At the YouTube headquarters, they have very strong gun laws in California. Since 1989, they've done a great job with it. And what happened was, this was one of the very few instances where, on a side note, this is one of the very few instances where a shooting was carried out by a woman. That's very rare, honestly.
Okay, yeah, that is.
Just on a side note, and in California, they have a mandatory 10-day waiting period to pick up a firearm, and also they have a pretty valid, it may not be perfect, but a pretty valid, in my opinion, a pretty valid piece of legislation that outlaws weapons that really can kill several people in seconds.
Gotcha.
So like they outlawed automatic weapons, they outlawed attachments such as bump stocks, and however they still allowed people to pick up personal defense weapons and hunting weapons. Like,
Gotcha.
They still allowed people to do it. Now what happened was this woman, she went to a store after she was really annoyed at what YouTube was doing to change their policies, and she went to a store called the Gun Range to pick up a 19mm pistol. And in California, she was only able to wound 3 people. The only person that died was herself, because then she
turned it. I'll start with bump stocks. So
Sure.
my look at bump stocks is yes, it.
on that, and it really explained well how it worked. I gave it a like because it was a very good video.
Yeah, he's out of Utah rubber band, and it's something very easy. So that's one thing. So. Okay, here we go. So, illegally made guns. Why do we need to enforce?
Bill Clinton signed a federal assault weapons ban that was that the only reason that it wasn't higher was because of its many statistical evidence shows that right there.
So the counter to that one would
If we if we automatically pick one, it's never going.
You're talking. It's not.
And that's a bad thing to do. That is harming someone else. My era with drinking alcohol, that's just you doing it to yourself. Okay. A single semi-automatic 9mm handgun, you could. Putting.
As a mark.